Honeys, you might see that there are two of us on the screen today. Welcome to Hey Mona, who is going to be here to help mock me. Welcome, Mona. I hope you aren't going to be too cruel to me like my daughter Wendy is.
Oh, Donna, I have the utmost respect for you, darling. No worries. We'll get through this because our ideas are good. They're good. Everybody needs to hear them so things can go well.
Right, because I am a very intelligent person, actually, even though Danny Rashbone tried to make it seem like I was some simple minded person who didn't really think things through. But as you can see in my emails, you will hear all the wonderful wisdom that I was trying to impart to my darling daughter,
You
who
could have been a
refuses
writer,
to speak
and
with me.
you were a teacher. You're still teaching. If only everybody would take your lessons.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, are you ready to read my masterpieces?
I am looking forward to it. I hope everybody's ready. I'm going to try it with my glasses on, but I might have to remove them.
Okay.
Okay. May 3rd, 2013. Subject: info regarding his memorandum of law. Email. Dear Wendy, okay, just saw this email this morning. Obviously, his 23-page rant was insufficient, so he is trying to push the court to deny hearing your petition. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know if to prevent any action your attorney must respond or not. Only you, Wendy, only you and she know that, and me. However, Jibbers has made his divorce a full-time job to attempt to get to what he's always gotten, his way. His job allows for time and lots of time for him to put into his project. And you know as well as I do that all the research he's done on different case law to prove his point is his research, not his attorney's. No matter who did it, he is quoting 13 cases to show why the court should basically throw out your petition. Is Kristen answering this? Underscore. Does it require an answer to make sure that this is not seen by the court as ignoring his rights? I don't know. You need to find out.
Most important part of the divorce is relocation. I sincerely hope your attorney understands that that is your non negotiable. Lots of things are negotiable. That's the one thing that you cannot let her think. Okay, well, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. She needs to hear from you how serious you are about this and how it will benefit the children with a close knit family support system, as well as your significantly better paying job with hours much more flexible than your current job, so that you can spend significantly more time with the children, which requires teaching hours, office hours, court appearances, meetings with med school people, and multiple trips away from home.
Should I take over?
Yes, please.
Those trips need to be coordinated. It's a very good word, coordinated. With a very angry man who will not be cooperative with you in this regard. For example, this past weekend, you had your annual conference for child number one. At the same time, his regular NYU crap was taking place. He didn't say, I go to NYU every month and this is your annual meeting. I'll stay with the children and you go. Of course not. Danny thinks he's a very important person. And as always, he and his needs come first. So, without your parents as backup, one of you would have had to stay home with the children. I guess they don't have babysitters up there. That's an aside from a voice from beyond. Your attorney needs to understand that your mother worked full time in the family's dental practice until September, when she felt she was needed by you for the well being of the children to get them through a transitional time with the people who love them and see them frequently and with whom they share great affection. Your father has made numerous trips by plane for weekends and changing the patient's schedules around so that he can continue to spend significant time with the children. But the disappearance of your mother from the practice for a significant amount of time has caused a decrease in the practice income and the loss of some patients who feel that it's either not being run the same way as when my mother was there full time, or that my father is unable to see patients with problems and he has referred them to other offices in his absences. Additionally, this loss of income affects my family because my older brother, also a dentist, purchased the practice from my father in mid 2012. You want to?
Shall I take over?
Would you like to take over or would you like me to continue?
Let me give you a break. Okay. He has a monthly payment to make to my father based on the sale of the practice. It isn't fair to him to have decreasing monthly income statements from the practice due to my parents spending so much time here in Tallahassee. My brother is unmarried and is a wonderful uncle to Benjamin and Lincoln. If I am able to relocate to South Florida, they will have an incredibly warm and loving family as an integral part of their lives, not an occasional 2-day weekend trip to visit. Response: brief background.
Number one, this is a no-fault divorce state, so his nonsense about no marital infidelity or abuse doesn't matter. However, a hot temper and verbal abuse is what you need to emphasize that you suffered under his reign. Narcissistic personality disorder causes major problems in a marriage, especially when one believes that because he attended Harvard undergrad and Harvard Law, he's clearly better and smarter than anyone else, including you. Only an idiot like him would write that he should be the only one consulted for making decisions regarding the health, education, and religion of his children. Clearly, no one, including you, is as smart as he is in those regards. The money you moved into an account for you that was exactly half to the penny of the joint account, which is marital assets. The furniture you took was the bare minimum: a bed for you to sleep on and from the guest bedroom, one nightstand, and your dresser. You took 2 chairs that you bought 5 years ago at a neighborhood furniture store's closeout sale for $50 each. You have receipts to show all the new furniture you purchased to relocate to a safe place. You must emphasize that the only reason you left when he was out of town is because of the threat you'll leave without the children, without a penny, and just with the clothes on your back. It's super important for the judge to get the message that this guy is a big bully. I know she'll be able to read that when you submit copies of some of the emails he sent you, he feels as you said something. That's it. Well, that's not it. You're up.
As you did this while he was on a short business trip. About how many trips to conferences, etc., this man has taken. Too much time away from his family. You have all those documented. Now you need to sit down and figure out how many days away that's been. How about adding to that all his 2-week trips to Israel, especially when you are at the end of your pregnancy? Sweet, caring, concerned husband.
He talks about not knowing where the children were. Incorrect address for the first 6 weeks. Let the court know that although he was never particularly interested in the children prior to the divorce, he was advised to keep a diary and make sure that he shows his interest now. You arranged to meet him the very next day with Alan and Lynn Grossman, mutual friends, and the children at the local yogurt shop so he could see the children were fine. You were in fear of his temper, and so you did not want to reveal your address. However, 4 days after the separation, you arranged to bring the children to his house as his parents were going to be in town, and they were there for the Rosh Hashanah holiday with them. The following week, on one of his uninvited treks to your office, after he threatened you with federal kidnapping charges, which of course now he recants like he does anything he can't actually believe he actually did, you gave him your address. That was 1 week after separation, not 6 weeks. He says you took non-marital assets. What?
He says that
Go ahead.
He says the children were 3 and 1 at the time this took place. Ben was 3, and Lincoln was 23 months, 1 month before his second birthday. He talks about you both being well-paid professors with stable jobs. Yours is not a tenure-track job, and with the economy as it is, there is no guarantee it will be there in the future. His trash talking to various faculty members about your mental instability has also poisoned your work environment, making it extremely difficult for you to continue to function there in the same way as you previously did. Your job also pays you half of what his job pays. So on your own, it is not feasible to continue to live, even in the home you're currently renting. You have borrowed a considerable amount of money from your parents and must repay it for furniture, legal fees, moving expenses, etc. My parents have paid all grocery bills up to this point, for which I will also have to reimburse them. I do not want to dip into the money from our marital account, as that will have to go towards supporting my children and for their future.
Exactly. According to Jibbers, the relocation must show that the current arrangement for the children is deficient from the perspective of the children, and that relocation would advance their interests. This is something we have reviewed numerous times in other papers, Wendy. Review all that we've put together in this regard, rather than have me repeat it, but I'll repeat it. Obviously, the number one reason is significantly more income for you in a job that will also give you significantly more time with the children. For children at this tender age, nothing is more important than spending quality time with them, with which your current job does not permit. The financial freedom which will accompany this job will allow you to provide educational and outside activities and lessons for the boys that would not be affordable under your current salary. Number 2, the ability for our children to spend quality time with my parents and my mother, a retired elementary school teacher, would be a huge bonus to our children's academic and social progress. In my parents' home, each child currently has and would continue to have their own rooms with appropriate beds, furniture, books, and toys.
Mr. Buckhill has become a religious zealot over the last few years, since the birth of our first son. Taking him to synagogue with him as an infant so that he can absorb the music and the prayers. He has done the same with her second son. This is also to show the congregation what an attentive father he is. This is also to show the congregation, the fact remains that the children are watched by teenage children of other congregants in a sort of playroom while the services are going on. Mr. Markel picks one of them up to come back out at certain parts of the service to hear particular hymns and then returns them to the care of babysitters. This is done rather than allowing them to remain home with me. When I protested, he insisted. He always gets his way. There are no Hebrew day schools in Tallahassee. Mr. Markel seems intent upon religious training, but feels that only, underline, he could provide the best religious training for our children. He is indoctrinating them, not teaching them. If he truly cared about a religious school for them, then clearly one of the 37 Hebrew day schools in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County would be a better choice for our boys. My home in Broward County is close to many of these schools and midway between Dade and Palm Beach schools.
I hope your attorney is researching cases where relocation was granted and what the circumstances were. Also, all cases are different, and because one case didn't allow it, it doesn't mean that should prevent another case from receiving that benefit. Danny has said on numerous occasions, one I have on my phone as a saved message, what wonderful grandparents-in-laws we've been. He knows that the children are very close to us, and we'd always be there to take care of them. What's going to happen in June when he wants to go to 3 different conferences? Don't let him go. If you do, you're enabling and facilitating your stay in Tallahassee. You'll be showing him that anytime he has a meeting he wants to go to, that's fine. You'll watch the boys. That's the whole point of relocation for you and the children. He can continue to attend all the meetings he wants to and go and then arrange for frequent and extended visitation with the boys. Maybe some of the money he spends on trips can be used to visit the boys.
Bribe to get him to allow relocation should be the offer of plane tickets, since he does have family that would allow him to use their homes to stay in. But obviously, that's a last-ditch effort if all else fails. He's trying to show the court that your request is frivolous and that you should have to pay for yours and his court costs in this plea. Your lawyer has to let the court know that it's anything but frivolous. And isn't he also supposed to pay some of your regular legal fees? This bastard has not paid 1 cent toward your bridge gap alimony. Why? 3 question marks. Why only 2 months of a child support payment over an 8-month time frame? Loving, caring father that he is.
Do you need info on grocery bills? I have a good many of them, and I can show the court what it's been costing just for that, with no support from Jibbers. Also, find out from Kristen if she wants you to pay us back now or wait. What's the best for your case? I'm too angry to write any more. I'm going to shower, wash my hair, and get ready for you and the boys to come home. Dad said he'd look up any papers tonight or over the weekend that you may need. He even has information on what Danny had in his IRA and 401k prior to marriage. Love you, Mom. Moving on to June 25th. I think the first line totally needs to be yours, Donna.
Okay, if I must. Okay, Tuesday, June 25th, 2013. From Donna at gmail.com to Wendy Jill Adelson. Subject, please read. Very important. Message. Hi, honey. Okay. Just like it says on your necklace. Never, never, never give up. It's time for action. Okay, go ahead.
It's time to take control of your life and not let Chibbers think he's just won anything by having you remain in Tallahassee, 8 hours away from the only family you have, and lose out on what will be a job that will afford you and your children advantages they will never otherwise be able to enjoy. Let's show this fucker what will make him absolutely miserable. You know his weak points: money, religion, control. You have 5 weeks before your court date. I know you have a job that keeps you very busy. However, the rest of your life, underline bold, and consequently, Dad's, mine, and yes, even Charlie's, will be affected by how well you can perform/act before July 31st. You can be a good actress when you want to. I've seen you in action. You need to put on the performance of your life. Jibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family yet. You have a very strong family behind you. Just remember that. Dad and I have done everything we could to try to help you for the last 10 months. Now it's time for you to help yourself. We believe that you will be able to make this happen if you can put these actions before everything else this month, and you know that you've only got the kids a limited number of days to do this. We believe that Jibbers will be saying, stop this. And you'll be telling him, you wanted me in Tallahassee. My children are going to fit in this Bible Belt. They're going to church every time I have them. I'm having them privately tutored at home to get them all caught up with Sunday school classes that I've registered for them in the fall. If the class time coincides with the service I'll be attending, tell them you've got a new outlook on life and new hope, and that you'd like to go to heaven. Perhaps he would like to join you and the boys at church. Plan of action.
Action. Number 1. Take photo of boys, parentheses, dressed nicely, standing at the front door or by the sign of a Tallahassee church. Then change your Facebook status photo to this one so everyone will see this. Perhaps a line under the photo with, quote, new beginnings in Tallahassee might be nice. Within minutes, Jibbers should either see this or will be getting calls from his friends/acquaintances about this. How happy do you think he will be?
Number 2, make arrangements to get the boys caught up with a private tutor, teenage Catholic church member, who will come to the house to teach the young men about Jesus. If you don't have time to arrange this to happen, I will happily do it for you. She or he will serve as a good babysitter assistant for you while you're preparing dinner, etc.
Face. Number 3, let Jibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church, and you'll certainly invite him to the event. Let him know that the Catholic Church is a big part of your life now with the boys, and you'd like him to be a part of it. As long as he wants you to remain in Tallahassee, the boys will be involved with you in church-related activities and ceremonies. Let him get used to it. I've already checked this out. Your baptism can be arranged within 2 weeks. We can send out evites to Jibbas, his parents, sister, and anyone else you want to invite.
Number 4, I'm looking into summer camp programs for the boys. We will pay for it, even if the boys end up only going the few days they're in Tallahassee on the days you have them prior to the hearing. Number 5, register them for toddler classes at church. I've looked into this, and even if they don't go, we can show Jibbers that they are enrolled for this fall semester. And you cannot tell anyone this is an act. Somehow it will get back to Jibbers. Exclamation, 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 exclamation. Take control from him. Get to him psychologically. He's going to want to stop this. Wendy, you've been through a very difficult year. You had to make a huge decision. You did that. It was the right decision. Now you have one final opportunity to make him angry. We want him ticked off so he realizes he could lose control over his kids. We plan to make a financial offer to him to allow this relocation. You need to work this plan, so we'll help you through it so that it may affect how much we will offer him. Maybe he'd be willing to let you relocate if he knew his children would attend a private Hebrew academy like Donna Klein and Boca, or perhaps he'd like them to invite him to a Christmas party at their other Sunday school.
3 weeks till mediation. Let's get this going now. I know you would never want to think that you didn't do absolutely everything you could to try to come down to your family. Between living down here and having a job that will give your children the lifestyle they deserve, your life now and for sure in the future will be significantly better. Gary told us that he is, all caps, not going to hire anyone until after your court hearing and after we tried to make a financial offer to Jibbers.
We don't want Danny to continue his religious influence over these children any more than what he's already done. And if he keeps this up and they don't want to eat in your non-kosher home, and if they see you don't want to attend their shul functions, you will be the outsider. As they get older and more involved under Jibba's religious influence, they will be able to request which parent they want to live with. Don't allow Jibbas to have this power and control over them. Then in reality, he's going to have the same control over you.
Dad and I have changed our lives this year to support and assist you and the boys in every possible way. Farley has accepted the loss in the office business income for us to do this because he loves you and wants only the best possible future for you. It's time for you to show us that you can put on the performance of your life for the next few weeks.
Please call us after you read this. We're waiting to talk to you. If you have any other ideas to make a last chance for relocation happen, please let us know. We send this letter with our love and only the best intentions. Mom and Dad, sent from my iPad. We're up to June 27th.
Okay. So, Thursday, June 27th, 2013, 1:22 p.m. Subject, word, Wendy, ... Please read this, ... Message. Okay. Dear Wendy, since neither one of us feels up to talking, let me share with you what we're all feeling as far as your response.
When I wrote When I wrote to you this morning, we felt that you had reasonable thoughts as to what the judge might do or say to think regarding the charade we had hoped you would participate in. However, the more we think about that, we begin to realize that you and we have no idea what this judge will do or say or think. Who would have thought that after paying an attorney $600 an hour for 10 months, she would take an hour and a half of testimony and not even bother calling Jibbers to the stand and decide that family support for very young children evidently means nothing and that a job that pays 10 times what your unsecured, untenured, dependent upon state budget cuts job pays in Tallahassee will just be fine for your children? Does she care that after expenses you'll save next to nothing at the end of a year? Does she care that very little, if anything, will be put away for the children for their current and future education? Does she care that extracurricular activities, sports, trips, eating out in restaurants will always be a financial challenge for you to provide for the boys? Clearly, she did not take that into consideration, the future earning potential and benefit for your children. She didn't care. She didn't care that there's no backup support system when one of your preschoolers is sick. All she cared about was if the father hasn't been pulling out their toenails, you should give up any financial betterment for you and your children and raise them in a place that you agreed to go to because Jibbers only had a FSU as a job offer. Of course, as a graduate of FSU Law School and a native of Tallahassee, she sees nothing wrong with living there. Obviously, as a native of South Florida, you know better.
Our point is, it's obvious that you and Kristen haven't figured out the judge so far. You were both shocked at the rapid decision based on nothing that was presented. So, how do you think at this point you can figure out what the judge will say regarding your decision to introduce Christianity into the boys' lives? People go to prison and change their religion all the time. People go through difficult times and find Jesus. Jesus was Jewish. He had positive teachings. He gives people hope. And best of all, you get to go to heaven in the end. Sounds good to me. Obviously, it will sound good to Judge Hobbs. She goes to church. There were multiple donations from her church pastors and ministers on her financial contributions website. She's a Southern black lady. How do you know it won't be music to her ears to hear this?
Some possible options on Judge Hobbs' decision regarding Jewish holidays with the boys. Bold, underlined. As far as losing the children on the Jewish holidays, there are a couple of alternatives to this. First of all, it may happen, but unlikely. He is entitled to half of those holidays and alternating those holidays each year with you. You may be interested in the teachings of Jesus because Jibbers has certainly ruined Judaism for you in the extreme way he practices it. However, if the judge questions how much of the Jewish holidays you can have, you explain that your parents and brother are Jewish and that they will be coming to Tallahassee to spend those holidays, or the half that you are entitled to, or perhaps even the 60% that you are entitled to with the boys.
Secondly, so what if by some crazy stance the judge says, okay, Jibbers can have all the Jewish holidays? Then, if our bribe doesn't work, you tell him during the year that you'll take the kids out of Sunday school at church and cancel their upcoming baptism if he shares those dates with you. If not, keep them there.
Third, since there is a separation of church and state, she'll just go by whatever schedule you're given and tell you to work out any holiday arrangements between yourselves. Who declares which are legitimate holidays and which aren't? Shmini Azaret? Obviously,
Obviously, go ahead.
obviously, the court isn't out to help you. It's clear that since Judge Hobbs' last ruling that she could care less about anything you had to say on your behalf, you need to help yourself.
No, Wendy. Most of the wars that have been fought for the last couple of thousands of years have been over religion. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II, wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done, and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done and a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance and would show Jibbers that he's not in control. If your children are baptized, it doesn't make them Christian. Ben and Lincoln aren't really pirates because they dress up like Jake the pirate. It's an act.
You got into this mess with Jibbers by being so compliant and non-confrontational with him. If you just keep paying your attorney her $600 per hour and don't fight for what you want, you're no better than if you stayed married to him. Sure, you got rid of being unhappy in a marriage so you don't have to live under the same roof, but he'll still be in control of everything, including what he wanted, sole control of the boys' religious lives. Why let him? Why not stand up to this fucker? Why not fight? We're not talking about a lifetime of this. You have the boys a very limited amount of you have the boys a very limited number of days before the mediation takes place. This is all part of an act.
Let's rethink this. We're all willing to help you accomplish this. And that's all it is, Wendy, an act. Defiance that will put a scare into this jackass. It will infuriate him. It won't infuriate a judge that you found Jesus. She can't comment on your religious views.
You need to see the big picture. You need to look into the future, what a life without your only family nearby teaching in Tallahassee, with Danny always in the picture, will give you. It's not a pretty picture. We want to see you help yourself. Not everything one has to do in life is comfortable or easy. Sometimes it's ridiculously hard. But Jibbers has tried to aggravate and screw you since day one of this divorce. His vicious emails, his defiance with Dr. Pam's directions on asking him not to come to school every day when he doesn't have the boys, his not allowing you to pick up the children 1 hour earlier to drive to Atlanta, his bad mouthing you at the faculty at the school where you will be working at. Everything he does is done with malicious intent. Why can't you do this for the few days that you have the boys prior to the mediation? You know him. You know which buttons to push. Take something from him. Right now he's got everything just the way he wants. We need to take something from him in order for him to negotiate it back. This is your chit.
Extremism that Jibbers is already teaching the boys is nothing more than brainwashing. Religion is brainwashing. It's control of the masses. It affects who your friends are, what activities you do, how you eat, how you dress, how you pray, everything. There is no doubt you will have two little Orthodox young men on your hands with the only religious influence over them being Jibbers. He's already got them thinking that people who eat shrimp are bad. Hot dogs are disgusting. Lobster is gross. Wait, Ben's not even 4 years old. Wait till he's 8. You're not teaching them anything different. You don't teach them that on Saturdays they can go to soccer or any regular organized sports activity or even swim lessons. You let them play in the park or in the house. Jibbas has an organized plan that he's been doing pretty much since they were born. Shul, shul, shul. Shul every Saturday morning that he has them. Shul for every Sunday that he has them. Shul for every holiday. Shul parties. Shul, shul, shul. It will be their life. We don't want you to be the outsider who doesn't join in on what the rest of the family is doing.
Wendy, this is all about negotiating. After consulting with 2 attorneys who are both excellent negotiators, one of whom we will most likely hire for the financial offer, we are getting the same advice. You must take something from him that he wants. When you intelligently negotiate in mediation, you pretend you don't want the house, even if you don't. You pretend you want the car, even if you don't. You pretend you want the ring, even if you don't care. You pretend you want the kids in Catholic school, even if you don't. It's just the business of clever negotiation. It's not what you or we are familiar with, but people in business do it all the time. Both attorneys have said that this is how you get what you want. If you can't take anything from him, then what we do is just the financial offer. It's just not as good. And then we look at it this way. What's the downside? Worst case scenario is the judge does give him the Jewish holidays. Then after a short period of time, you offer taking the kids out of Catholic school, Sunday school. If he shares the holidays, or have a stipulation that the holidays need to be reviewed yearly. You have a smart lawyer. She knows all kinds of stipulations and temporary arrangements can be made at divorce.
See, you don't manipulate people. You're a sweet, kind, caring person. Jibbas is a manipulator. You just need to play a role. What you're doing is, quote, jockeying for position. In the end, if you do this and it doesn't get the results we're all hoping for, then you can't blame yourself. You can feel good that you did everything you could. I'm not saying that we're not going to continue with hiring an attorney to negotiate and make a financial offer. I don't think you realize the type of offer we're considering. We're planning on you, Charlie, and Dad and I going as high as equal parts in a $1 million offer. That's $333K from each of us. Obviously, the more chits on our side, the better our chances are that we won't have to go that high. You have to show us that you're doing your part in this too. We're a team. We can't do this without your help. One of the possibilities in lieu of that much money, obviously we start much lower, is offering not just taking them out of church, but negotiating a settlement which could possibly offer both boys private education at the Donna Hebrew Day School in Boca. It may include monthly airline tickets to South Florida for as long as he lives in Tallahassee. He may stop and think that if he can get a job in a city he'd prefer to live in, it would be an easy flight to see his children. He loves living in South Florida, teaching at his current schedule. And with a big chunk of money, he could live down here. And for the 26 weeks per year that he teaches, and fly 2 days a week to Tally, he would have frequent and liberal visitation. You're not looking to remove him from their lives. He needs to understand that. The negotiating lawyer will work with him. With his school teaching schedule, he could see his children here a significant amount of time. His child support would be much less also. The attorney who will be doing the negotiating will also, quote, lay it out on the line for him what the various payment offers would be worth to him in 15 to 18 years when he may want to retire. The amount is huge. This payoff can put him at that point, parentheses, without any additional income of his own, end parentheses, in the $4 million range. Certainly nothing he'd ever save in 10 lifetimes.
If you try this, you really will not be any worse off if you do nothing. So what's preventing you from just trying? I don't know how much of the big picture you're seeing, honey. I don't know if you realize that not what only you can provide your boys' lives, but for your own life, all depends on this change. Aside from living in a far better city with family, a personal history here, you'll also have greater opportunity to meet people for your future. I'm sure there are many lovely women who are teachers, divorced with 2 children. You can be a highly successful, highly compensated attorney who is independent and not in need of someone to marry you to help support your 2 children. You can have someone cleaning your home, a nanny to help you with your children, a lifestyle in which you and the boys can travel. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to really turn your life around and make a positive difference in the lives of your children. Your expenses with the boys now are minimal. Wait till you see how expensive everything is in the future for them. We don't want you, and I wouldn't imagine you'll want to live paycheck to paycheck. Teenagers eat more than the yogurt these boys eat now. Everyone has a price. Now is the time to start. You said this divorce is not about winning and losing, and it's not about a competition. You've already lost relocation according to the legal system. Well, it is about winning and losing. We're trying to get a win. You deserve it. You deserve so much more than a life without family, teaching in Tallahassee.
Life is tough. If you don't stand up and take a chance, you don't stand a chance. Please, Wendy, do your part and stand up to him. Make an effort to do this so that our group offer will stand a better chance at being accepted. Don't let his temporary move to Tallahassee ruin your entire life. We all want the same thing, a better emotional and financial life for you and the boys all the way around.
You know, Grandma was one tough and very smart lady. I think about her all the time, and I think about what advice this very intelligent woman, a wonderful reader of people who loved you more than words could ever express, would say to you. She'd tell you to fight with every bone in your body. Fight for yourself, your boys, and for the best possible life you can have.
You know that's true. Fight for yourself, Wendy. We'll be there to help you. Just don't tell us that what you need to do now is, quote, move forward with a sense of peace, unquote. It's giving up. I don't believe that's really what you want to do after all we've been through together, and when you're literally a few weeks from this being over.
Written with hope and love, Mom and Dad. Got to the February 18th. I might have to take my glasses on. It's getting dark in here.
Okay.
I'm back. I don't know. Maybe I can do it. Maybe.
Okay. You want to go ahead?
I'll try. Yeah, I'll try, because you got to really try to make things better. Mm-hmm. To Wendy Adelson from Donna Harvey. Info for your lawyer when it comes to depo on Danny. Honey, okay. Your attorney must depo Elvis to see if any of the retirement accounts that Elvis has ever had a check written from them during the course of your marriage, if any of them were funded through any joint assets, for instance, your mutual Schwab account, or in any way passed through financial accounts, then you are entitled to a portion of those accounts, even if nothing was ever done improperly on these accounts. And he has some very large retirement accounts. Let's aggravate him the way he's trying to aggravate you and make him do the research and show statements from every month from the date of your marriage to the date of the filing of the divorce. You need to see whatever he deposited in those accounts and where that money came from. It's very possible that some of it came from your joint Schwab account, and then he's up Schitt's Creek. Why shouldn't he have to do this? It's what I mentioned to Kristen in court yesterday, and she nodded her head. Now she needs to do something about it.
That seems ridiculous for him to be able to depo you, but for you and Kristen not to give him the same crap he's pulling on you. It's time to give it to him. Also, what would your attorney do to be proactive to give him some grief? It seems like you're always on the defensive, but I don't see her doing anything offensive. I was really surprised that you didn't speak with her prior to meeting her in court. Can't you meet with her and work out a plan of attack or some sort of strategizing so you know what you're up against and what else he can do? When is there an end to the nonsensical litigation and waste of the court's time and your financial obligation to your attorney?
I think it's really important to get to the parenting coordinator and either testify or be brought into deposition, perhaps by your attorney, so we can get her to request that Elvis, aka Jibbers, be court ordered for psychological testing. And if he's this off, perhaps he should not be permitted to take the children out of the country. What happened with the dean? Any help, or do you need to proceed to the provost? Something has to be done with this asshole. Call us if you feel up to it tonight. If you're too tired, then call us in the morning after you leave the boys at school if you can. Love you, Mom and Dad.
Much, Mona. You've been a great help. The passion I had in all of these long, wonderful, advice-filled emails to my daughter.
You really put a lot of work in. If only people would listen to you. You're the mother. What you say goes. Oh, I lost your voice.
Listen to me. They should have listened to me.
She should have listened
People
to you.
realize my brilliance and appreciate me.
After all, you went to college and became a preschool teacher, and you were a spelling champion.
Yes, despite all those typos you just saw in my emails. I'm sorry. I think in my old age, I'm just not as good at spelling as I was back in 1962.
I think you were just feeling very passionate about what you were saying and had to express yourself. Like your life remember your life coach taught you that?
Yes, that's right. And so my only crime was loving too much. Because I'm full of love. I just like my grandchildren too much. Is that a crime?
Maybe.
It's not. I sacrificed myself.
You did.
People need to appreciate me. Donna Adelson Day.
There should be a Donna Adelson Day. There should be. We just missed it. It should have been 2 days ago, right?
November 13th. November 13th.
When they made that
become a holiday
mistake.
for all you pathetic YouTubers out there constantly paying attention to this silly case and my wrongful arrest.
Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible how they treated you, darling. It's terrible.
That's right. I can't believe people can behave so inhumanely towards other people. I was just trying to help my children, doing everything I could. And it's just too bad that people just wouldn't believe Charlie's double extortion theory, which just makes
your poor baby Charlie. I mean, of course they should have believed that. He would never, never, never do anything wrong.
Never do anything wrong when he was a little boy. Mommy was always so proud of him. He'd come back from all these South American and Asian tours being all happy and relaxed and glowing. And Mommy was so proud of him being an international traveler.
He made he made very many new little friends, and they were all adorable and seemed to enjoy his treats.
Treats to little children while he was overseas. And they just loved him and just surrounded him. And he would give them American dollars and American candy. And he would just really enjoy all of his international travels. And he loved all the children of the world, just like Michael Jackson.
It's terrible how misunderstood all three of you are. Just terrible. I don't understand the world anymore.
Exactly. And that's why as soon as I get out of jail, I'm going to be suing all the people out there who have been writing negative, nasty things about us on the internet. Because, you know, I have a constitutional right to file lawsuits. And I've been consulting with Dr. Graber about it too.
That I think you have a lot of work to do. But, you know, I hope in this unfair manner that you've been treated, you at least have a pen and some paper so you can continue to write your lists. And that way, when you get out, which you will, of course, a free woman, you know who you want to sue. You can take notes. And then you call a good lawyer and start those lawsuits. Get your money back that you had to waste all this time being wrongly accused.
Right. My civil rights have been violated, and everybody is defaming me and trying to make money off of me, like those people making tote bags and T-shirts with my images on them. And that is very unfair, and it's also illegal too. So as soon as Harvey gets that cash back from Vietnam through Scott Radius, then we'll get started again hiring some more people. And I don't think there's anything unethical about Danny Rashbaum filing civil suits for us, because Danny was like a second son to me.
He's wonderful.
Taken away from me.
He's just a wonderful, wonderful lawyer. Use him for everything.
Yes. Danny Rashbaum was like another son, like that, the son who replaced that evil one that I won't even mention, that other person that I'm also going to sue as soon as I get out.
Everybody. Yes. Everybody. Just sue everybody.
Yes. Lawsuits for everybody. Oh, people are asking us some questions in the chat. Would you like to talk about how Harvey is doing?
Harvey is a little lost without me, a little lost. He really, really wanted to go to Vietnam. And now he has to stay in the United States in a nice condo without me. But I try to video call him as much as possible to keep his spirits up. So my darling Harvey, he's okay.
I didn't know we had access to video conferencing with the outside world.
We have tablets. We have tablets.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought that was only for like internet or phone calls or something, but video conferencing, how come no one told me about that?
You must talk to some of the girls. They can teach you. They can teach you there.
I've just been so busy learning how to twerk and speaking phonics that I haven't had time to delve into technology. Since I'm 74 years old, it's kind of hard for me to get used to these newfangled technology methods. Okay, but thank you for that. Um, oh, this person wants me to twerk. Well, unfortunately, there's not much room over here, and my booty has gotten bigger and bigger as the months go by because of all the commissary snacks that Harvey keeps sending me. And I've been a little depressed too, so I've been eating my feelings. And so my booty's too big to fit over here to do twerking. I'm sorry. Maybe in
We'll just
another
have
life.
imaginary twerking. Imaginary.
Yeah. Ooh, ooh.
Oh,
Yeah. Raise the roof. Raise the roof. Woo. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. When the pigs try to get at you, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Okay. Well, that's enough entertainment there. Yeah. Let's see. Do you see the comments from the people in the chat?
I'm reading them. Let's see some.
Agree with you, Stacy's mom. I don't know why Steve Jansen. He said he guessed that maybe my trial would be in April or something. But I think that's a little fast. I want to make sure my new attorneys really understand the case and know all the evidence. Yeah.
And I have knitting classes to finish. I could use the extra time.
Yes, you've been taking sewing classes, haven't you? Oh,
and
I see.
Crocheting. Some of the girls have special talents, and we've made friends.
Oh, what are these special talents? Do tell.
I'm not allowed to say anything because I, like many people, keep things. Unlike many other people, keep things private. I'm not going to tell on my girls.
Okay. Well, sometimes when you're stuck in jail and have too much time on your hands, then people's natural talents come out. Like teaching people how to twerk and how to braid hair. And my talents include being a domestic coordinator. So I've been teaching these girls how to be the best domestic coordinators and how to convince people of things and how to smile and lie to people's faces, how to purchase TVs. That's what I'm good at.
Yeah. And I'm learning some better code, a little more complex for my jail feels. Yeah.
Oh.
To keep my privacy.
Okay. Well, what's this about shoulder rubs? I don't think I understand that. Is that some sort of new lingo that young people say? What's the shoulder rub thing?
Harvey better not be doing that. He better not be. If he knows what's good for him, I'm coming out. I'm getting out, and I'll be back.
That's true. Luckily, I do have some good friends out there who can help me keep tabs on Harvey, because I think he was getting a little bit too excited about going to Vietnam. Weren't you suspicious?
Set up those spy cams. Didn't we have them? And we just have to activate them. And then maybe you could see it from one of your friends' cell phones, one of the sneaky cell phones in jail that has internet. Tap into that Ring camera everywhere.
Yes, exactly. Great idea. Yeah, because I don't know. I mean, Charlie must have learned it from somewhere. So
that Charlie, he's just so smart. He's such a darling.
Yes. Charlie was always just so charming and so good to all those girls, especially Korean girls. Okay, so is Harvey still at the airport? No, my father's alibi. Harvey is just sitting in the condo. He's kind of dazed and confused, not understanding what's going on. But as far as I know, he's just hanging around. Sometimes he goes to Whole Foods and the paparazzi take pictures of him while he's going to Whole Foods. But he's living a good, clean life. Oh, have we heard from Wendy? Of course not.
Oh,
We've all been protecting her for all these years. Charlie has always been such a great big brother protecting her too. And her lawyer has been really good about giving her advice so she can bury me in the dress that I bought for Lincoln's bar mitzvah.
yeah. Just, oh, what an ungrateful daughter after everything we've all done for her.
But do you think that we should turn against Wendy?
It's our Wendy Jill. It's our Wendy Jill. We just can't.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going to turn against Wendy, even though she has turned out to be so ungrateful. Because I don't know how many more years I have left on this earth. If anything, on my gravestone, they can write that she sacrificed for love.
The love of a mother.
I am just filled with too much love. And that's how I will go to my grave after they bury me in that bar mitzvah dress.
Probably red roses will grow, the symbol of love, just spontaneously out of your grave because of the love in your heart. It is just never ending. It's deep. It's deep, Donna.
Oh, isn't this so mean of Sandra to be pointing out my weight? Okay, I did talk about my booty getting a little bit too big for twerking here, but
just let's see how Sandra does with what's available, those chips and candies, and there's nothing to eat here.
It's exactly the highlight of my day is trying to make those like those potato chip type casseroles with ramen and in a little packet of chili and what was the name of those like special potato chips that we get from the
Pringles?
commissary? No, there was some sort of like silly name, like Whataburger or something. I can't remember. I think I need ginkgo biloba or something, dementia setting in.
Also,
but anyway,
the ramen burrito, the ramen microwave burrito is quite delicious.
Yes, I'm trying to.
A lot of carbs.
I'm trying to figure out what kind of cuisine can be made with these like commissary ingredients and stuff. So I'm sorry that I now do look like I need Weight Watchers, but how would you look if you had been in jail for over a year?
It's depressing. It's a little depressing.
Yes, give me some grace here. I'm 74 years old and my metabolism is slowing, and the only thing I have looked forward to is the Cactus Annie's squeezed cheese in a pouch when Harvey orders it for me. I could eat the whole thing in one sitting.
And they won't even let him send Werther's to jail. It's not part of it.
Oh, and okay, she reminded me. I'm just going senile here. Yeah, whole shebang potato chips. Yes, I need to put in another order for whole shebang potato chips so I can make my nice gel concoction with the whole shebang chips and the ramen and to squeeze in a pouch of chili and maybe some squeezed cheese and shake it all up in the bag. Okay.
That cheese is delicious. It's delicious.
Yes.
And
yes.
if you don't eat dairy, there's no dairy in it. Everyone can try it. It's like the new vegan obsession.
Yes, exactly. All right. So, yes, that's right. I think that crazy YouTuber girl, that Oriental girl who keeps making fun of me, paid $17. Yes, we have all these people that have been working for the lawyers, watching YouTube all the time. Can you imagine that? Just to see what intel is out there and see what people are saying about me and what kind of new type of alibi or story we should come up with that the general populace might actually believe.
They don't believe anything because We're just loving, loving people who never did anything wrong except love too much. Love too much and have the best advice, the best unasked for and unfollowed advice. It's terrible. It's just terrible.
Exactly. And another reason why I would never turn against my daughter is because just as her necklace says, never, never, never give up. Okay.
Never.
So I am not gonna give up. I have full faith in my new attorneys, especially after we paid them so much money. I can't believe this. But we're not going broke though because the stock market.
We have that on our
great.
to sue. We have that on our to sue list. Get that pen, put on the to sue list.
Yes,
Danny better pay back that money. Danny better pay it back.
that's right. I still think of him as my son, but he's also my son who owes me $500,000.
At least.
Yes, exactly. So
add in some emotional distress payments. That was terrible sitting in court that day. You were about to get exonerated in just weeks, and then you had to go back to jail with no lawyer.
Yes. Yes. I can't believe like my whole crying face was just like blowing up on people's TV screens and computer screens, me looking at my worst with no makeup on and my two-toned white and blondish hair. It was so humiliating.
No earrings,
no earrings, no lipstick. But at least I did have on my nice black cardigan. So I thought I looked sort of stylish with that. Yeah.
Rustically stylish. You know, trying to fit in up there in Tallahassee.
Yes, that's right. You can never have too much style, even if you're in prison. So, yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions for Donna?
Okay. Yeah, it looks like the questions are kind of slowing down here. We do appreciate everybody being here, and big shout out to Hey Mona for being willing to take part in this silliness. And we do not mean any disrespect to the memory of Dan Markel, because he's the true victim in this. But this is another avenue that we can take to educate people about the vitriolic emails that Donna Adelson sent to Wendy Adelson. Okay. Well, thank you, Mona, so much. Do you have any parting words for our loyal viewers out there?
Thank you so much for letting me be your Donna buddy. I enjoyed it so much, Judy. And it's amazing to read these. My thoughts are reading these letters are very bizarre how they switch and change person point of view. She's Donna, she's Wendy. It's all very confusing. But I did notice, and it's her words, and I'm sure we'll see this in her trial whenever it happens, and that'll be fine however long it takes, that the first one was written from her and the rest were written from Donna and Harvey. 100%. So I think it's good evidence for Harvey too. That's my thought about rereading these emails. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure the two of them are like peas in a pod, just like Donna and Charlie. You know, they all think and act as a unit. So remember that quote where she said, "We're a team. We can't do this without your help." So, you know, and then she talks about Gibbers hasn't beaten the Adelson family. So it just kind of goes to show that they were totally enmeshed together.
Yeah, they're like, it's like when your kid, if anybody that has kids here and they do soccer that first year when they're 5, they call it nut clusters. Everywhere the kids move on the sealed. They're just all together in the same moves. And that seems to be how they did once they kicked out the only honest person in their family. So whenever Donna's trial is and whenever anything comes up, if there's more data that comes out and we can see some more things that they've released electronically, we can have some more fun with this.
Yeah, I'm going to try to request some more jail or prison records. but we'll see, because one time I tried to contact Charlie's prison and they just totally ignored me. So maybe I need to write a more formal FOIA request type of letter. So,
right, with your good letter, with
um,
your legal letterhead.
yeah. There's also a retired FBI behavioral analyst who has agreed to be on. So we're trying to coordinate
Coordinate.
a new date that's good for both of us. So maybe in another week or two. So we'll see.
That
But I
sounds
do
good.
have a bunch of work things coming up and going out of town too. So
Yeah, holidays are coming for everybody but some.
yeah, yeah, that's right. Okay, well, why don't you stay on a little bit so I can say goodbye to you personally? And
Thanks,
thank you guys.
everybody.
Thank you all for still caring. Okay, have a good weekend. Okay.